Ooh, that music gets me pumped. Welcome to the Blockchain Basement, your deep dives for everything crypto, politics, and altcoins, folks. We've entered the parabolic stage for Bitcoin's up only season. Max Payne being up only for people on the sidelines that weren't listening to us, that were saying they're waiting for 60K entry points. Man, now they're going to be top blasting as we move forward with Bitcoin's bull market over the next few months here. Welcome all to the show. We're going to be looking at the top altcoins to really compound those gains before liftoff, things that haven't taken off yet that I see with major coiling of price action right behind the scenes. People aren't paying attention. Bitcoin's stolen the show, but really there's a lot of money to be made in the next few months with altcoins as well. Welcome to the show. We got Isaac up in the background here. What up,
Yes, sir. Always. How's it going? I know it's been a hectic morning. You've been running around like a crazy person with the family.
Well, I'm like I'm waddling around the house, like moving things around, getting ready for this trip. I walk like a penguin right now, man. My freaking foot. I'm never playing soccer in steel-toed boots ever again. Word of advice there to everyone watching the show. Don't do it. Welcome to the show, though. Jay Blakely, first comment. Good morning. Getting signed up with L Bank. Shout out. Appreciate you, brother. Drew Guyver, John Doe, Uncle Tommy. We got a Piss Missile Explosion, DOD with a hot name change coming in. Sack Nasty, Moby, Rick, Wispy, love you, baby. I'm going to be giving you a call, Wispy. Sufficient enough, Morgan Powell, Slim Cheeses, Ellie, Jeff, Dylan, all the people, Chewy. We got all kinds of cool people up in here. Welcome all. And, you guys just caught all the, news from the
Discover show.
Yeah, the Discover Crypto show. But honestly, guys, like, the layers that we're building within the Discover Investments Group Discord is something you don't want to miss out on. I had to tag this morning, Isaac. I wasn't wishy-washy. I didn't say it could go up, could go down, so I could have a snapshot of either option. Literally on the 16th of this month, about 6 or 7 days ago, I put out this signal that the Bitcoin 4-hour long signal was still intact. In my opinion, we were building that strong footing to break all-time highs currently on Bitcoin. I did not give could go up, could go down BS that you always get from other influencers because they want to be right no matter which way the market goes. I was very hard-sided about this opinion. And now, I am going to be looking at some local levels, but if you guys aren't already in there, you can get into the Discover Investments Group Discord literally for free. All you have to do is sign up in our link in the description for LBank and then utilize the UID. And you send the UID. I'm going to put it in the chat here. Office@Hit Network. I want to get as many people that support this channel as possible in on this because when I get back from my trip, and honestly, during my trip, I'm going to be doing market open analysis on Bitcoin, current levels to watch if you are out there trading. And these levels also apply if you're involved with DeFi, right? If you're following and getting involved with DeFi through DeFi crypto and airdrops, the TA and the levels that we're talking about in the Discover Investments Group Discord, and especially the trading chat, matter so much for what you're dealing with in your ranges, right? This is what it's all about. So shout out to DJ Flex. Influencers talk about crypto but don't own any. They're there for the clicks and revenue. That's facts, dude. That is facts. So many LARPers, bro. So many LARPers.
So sad, too. So sad. I mean, come on. They're here to listen to you. They want to know they want to pick at your brain and get all the information, and then you just bullshit to them. Come on, bro.
Yeah, we keeps it 100%. And shout out, we are at 78,400 subscribers as of the time of this recording. I did do a special live stream only for members. If you want to become a member, it's $5 a month. I did a special live stream, and I'm also going to be working in I am going to be working with TJ on some special options that I'm working out in the background for OG NFT blockchain basement holders. Now, it's going to be a conversation I'm going to be having over Bitcoin Vegas with the boss man, Mr. TJ, but I think that there's something pretty special that me and him can work out for everyone that's holding those OG NFTs. What up, French Toaster? Good to see you, man. Now, let's check out the market as it sits right now. Fear and greed sitting at about 73. People are feeling a little extra bullish here. The market cap at 3.5 trillion, but boy, howdy, the last stretch of the bull market gets absolutely ballistic for the things under Bitcoin. I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin's price expectations. Is this the top type conversation first? But I really want to emphasize in a deep dive video how parabolic the upside becomes for projects that can hold their position in the top 10 and in the top 20. And honestly, when you get down to the top 20, in bull market hyper explosionary moments, this is where the giga money can be printed. It's about, can Polkadot hold that number 19 spot? Can Toncoin hold this number 18 spot? Can Hedera hold this position? That's what we really, really need to be paying attention to as we move forward into this next movement here. So now here we go. I got some things to talk about. Okay. And we're going to talk about it with Bitcoin first. All right. So the signal of the weekly candle, or the weekly green dot, this is given to you guys about 2 to 3 weeks ago. Actually, we've been riding this for quite some time. I got to give myself more credit. It's been about 5 weeks, right? And now the previous signals that we've had like this signal ended up with a 90% move. This one in the September 23 ended up with a 190% move. I am still eyeballing between 60 to 90% of upside out of this current moment before we have that short-term cool-off. So if you give it a measurement right in here, we go right about to the midpoint of those two expectations. It brings you to $145,000 of Bitcoin. This is max pain for the people on the sidelines watching this situation unfold. You know, it is unfortunate that people got shaken out in these pullbacks, but this, I was trying to tell you guys, was a very similar pullback. You know, we're looking at this market and we're like, wow, things are just absolutely incredible right now. They look incredible. But we zoom in here, and this pullback was a—
You are banned.
God, what happened?
John Doe. You can continue. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Now this, it was a 30% pullback at the front end of the bull year of the last cycle, and it was a 30% washout. There's a lot of people. Yeah, I have things to talk about. This is the washout, and you know where we're at right now. The 200-day moving average sits at about $93,000. Okay, so that is something important to watch out for. But currently, you know, in the trading atmosphere, you know, I did highlight it here in the Discover Investments Group Discord, but I'll kind of go over it briefly here on the LBank account. Is the point of control is sitting basically at about $104,000 as of the time of this recording. Yesterday, it was right at about 103.3. I am looking out. If, you know, this would be kind of like a back up the truck type exciting long moment. These other positions that, you know, I'm eyeballing here at about 108.6, because there is a lot of liquidity to grab should we break down to that level. Here on CoinGlass, you can see there's almost $200 million worth of longs that would be liquidated from people top blasting. So it is what it is. I really, you know, as I leverage trade, it gives me confidence knowing that we've been doing it the right way, but I'm always taking advantage of the pain and the blood. That's what I do. I take advantage of the pain and blood when it comes. Back up the truck on some positions and buy spot heavy. Right now, it is a dead heat between the longs and the shorts. And there is quite a bit of shorts coming in on Bitcoin, which honestly just keeps driving the price up higher. So where we're at right now, you know, the general target from this 4-hour signal landed us at about 112, 113K. I am watching out just for a little bit of a cool off, a washout, and you know, the top end of this range that I'll be watching in that situation, 105.8. But this is for my traders out there. You know what I mean? It's something that's a special kind of person that needs the gusto to trade in this market. What do you guys think about Vector Smart Chain, only layer 1 with non-variable gas fees, and how that could work for enterprise and RWAs? That's an interesting thought. Thanks for the Connect bucks, Mr. Jason. I'll take a look at it. Isaac, can you tag that for the when we get to the altcoin section
stuff
for me?
I already have it pulled up. I'm taking a look at it right now. So.
All right. Well, let's talk about it on the altcoin section when I actually get through, because Bitcoin is running the show. It's running the show here. So now Bitcoin dominance. This is a visual of how much of the show it's running. You know, and this is on daily candles. I think this is more useful to look at on the weekly, but as of today, we've seen a little bit of alt getting extra love. Now let's go to the weekly here, though. I really like just looking at Bitcoin dominance on the weekly. The little start of drop in the golden pocket resistance zone for Bitcoin dominance that Kelly Kellum was talking about is actually playing off. And it's actually interesting to note, you know, we are hitting all-time highs and the dominance is dropping. So this means some real chaos is brewing in the background for altcoins if you're crazy enough to hold them here. Now, this is Kelly's, kind of highlight on where we're at. A rising wedge, which could signal a small bear drop / dip of a washout. All these moves are noise. Dips at this point, you got to be grateful for and buy the opportunities here. So just some word of caution here, from top, if you're wanting to top blast the longs, more than often they're working, but there are, even though we're really pulling off in some amazing price action right now, there will be washouts, and that's where kind of the major pullbacks come from. Now, the washouts that we're looking for in the short term are nothing compared to this dude who spent 10,000 Bitcoin 15 years ago to buy pizza, bro. These pizzas ended up being, now in today's valuation, $1.07 billion. $1.7 billion.
Bro, I would be so furious.
The backstory of this is kind of interesting, though, because it was Satoshi. I think Satoshi directly emailed this guy. And he's like, dude, you got a lot of Bitcoin. Would be cool to start showing people that we can utilize these for in-world purchases. See if you can work out a deal with the pizza place. He took Satoshi's advice and ended up buying 2 pizzas for $1 billion. So absolutely crazy. Yeah. Early adopter. Shout out to him, man. These are the trailblazers, the trendsetters. These are the OG crypto believers that are validated these days. His kids probably hate him. You got to do what you got to do to get the plane off the ground, man. Absolutely crazy to think about, though. And this is how, people were feeling last night. It's how I'm still feeling. This dude looking at 109, man.
The fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.
That's it, baby. We are moving. And you know what? When we start cooking into the mid 100s, that's where a lot of these Bitcoin bears that are still, they're just being quiet right now, but they're still looking for the 60K washout. I think that's where they start to capitulate. But also when we hit that mid 100K range on Bitcoin, that's where you start to see a lot of yield begin to be generated off of Bitcoin holdings. Now, this one hit me right in the feels. Okay, name a store that your parents shopped at that doesn't exist anymore, dude.
Let them have it.
I miss Blockbuster so much. I really miss Blockbuster. I used to go there. That was like the spot where my parents would take me. And honestly, when I was big enough, I would go there myself on the bike, Mervin's. We got Sears, Radio Shack. Oh, the Kmart. See, I just wanted to go to the old school feels here.
There's a single Blockbuster store left open in America.
Yeah, it's in Oregon, right?
Yeah, it's in Oregon.
Yeah. Loved buying their old DVDs for $20. I know, man. Co-founder Jason's a co-founder at Kmart. No way. Circuit City, Toys R Us, man. We were kings. But there's
like kings that gotta be shut down.
Think about the conversation here. It's sentimental because we remember all these brick and mortar stores that we used to shop at. But what's happened over the last 10 or 20 years is a lot of this commerce has simply moved online. Now we've seen brick and mortar stores fall victim to commerce moving online, the ease of access for customers. But now we think about what we're involved in crypto is the store of value and the changing of hands of currency online, the next design of what Web 2 to Web 3 actually looks like, and communications, man. I mean, I'm communicating to you online. We've shown the metrics of how much each person's time is spent online versus with family or friends. And I'm here right here. I'm doing it. I'm on a vacation. I'm coming to you because I care about you guys. And I can't not stream for you, especially on a day like today. But a lot of this communication, a lot of this advancement in humanity is really taking place before our eyes. $100,000 plus for Bitcoin really isn't shit. Like gold is $20+ trillion. Bitcoin being digital gold, we are going to be looking at the $1 million plus Bitcoin scenario over the next few cycles here. And you're going to look back to the times like this where you're locked in and felt like you were wasting time during the lulls of the market. you're going to really, really appreciate your fortitude in knowing where the world is moving in aggregate. It matters a lot. And I really appreciate you guys for spending your time, which is the most valuable asset you have on this planet, with me. Bitcoin right behind time, but this, I just had to bring that meme up because it really hits me to think about how much things have changed, but there's still so much to go in terms of upside for Bitcoin and really the design of our economy at large. This is why cool altcoins with good use case and actual, useful tech interest me so much, because the world is changing. And if we hit a few of these altcoins and capture that upside, man, that's going to be absolutely insane. People don't really realize that. So just had to highlight that. We are early adopters still. No, I don't think the top is in. And, there's, as long as there's a Federal Reserve and financial irresponsibility, which I'm going to get to about Trump and this big, beautiful bill thing here in a few minutes, then there is no top to Bitcoin, because it literally just keeps moving up in tandem with the irresponsibility of these governments and their printing away of our buying power. That guy is going after you. He's going after you, Isaac.
You know what? The only thing that is going to change here is the fact that you can no longer type in our chat because you are banned. There we go. That was good.
Man, he's going after you. Now, Bitcoin was $16,000 when Peter Zahan said it had no intrinsic value and was worth less than $1,000. And this was supposed to be, when it was at 109. Now we're at 111. It's funny. Most successful ETF launch ever for Bitcoin. Sovereign wealth funds are buying. Strategic Bitcoin reserves are taking off. And yet this guy told you at the literal local bottom of this last bear market that it had no intrinsic value. I really hope that people like this can come out and own that, how wrong that they were, because a lot of people listen to this guy. A lot of people listen to Peter Schiff. A lot of people listen to these idiots who told you that Bitcoin, an asset that had a finite amount of resource, that was based and founded upon the literal physics of electricity and energy used to get it out, and the whole world moving to digital infrastructure. He told you that a sound digital infrastructure was worth nothing, less than $1,000. Absolutely aggravating. So if you can, give him a tag. Now, this is the current state of the market. When this is last week, when this came out, but Coinbase support got bribed. Hacker converts the 42 million bucks of Bitcoin to ETH via Thorchain and then leaves a message for Zach XBT, basically trolling him. Bitcoin casually breaks out of 110K amidst all of this FUD. $751 million liquidated, probably hundreds of millions of dollars more now as we woke up. This is from yesterday. And funding rates are at 0.2% or 177% APY on Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid has been absolutely screaming. And $74+ billion in open interest. Three whales are sitting on $1.3 billion worth of 40x longs, and liquidations sit at $93,000 to $100,000. This is a very, very spicy market structure, man. This is pure chaos. Will the exchanges wash the price down to get rid of these mega whales and their huge longs? Maybe. That's why I'm always sitting, waiting in the background for just the momentary pullback in a verified bull market. Put the long in, start printing some more tether here. Let's hear. Before we say anything about the big, beautiful bill, the Biden budget plan had us projected at $51 trillion in debt by 2032. And that is a great highlight. That absolutely is a great highlight. Big, beautiful bill still plans to add 8 billion or 8 trillion. Actually. So, that'll bring us from, what are we at? 37, mid 40s. So mid 40s, a little bit better. Honestly, we need to do away with the curve. The idea that they can just print whatever they want and act like it's okay. Yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
We should go kick down the IRS's doors. Like, we demand our money back. You can't stop us.
No, on this channel, we don't support that type of movement. But you know what?
A joke.
Isaac, okay? Okay. You gotta lead him in there with sugar. Okay. Lead him in with sugar. Now, Senator Cynthia Loomis is saying that Americans are ready to update the U.S. gold reserves with Bitcoin. This and the major economic levers that Trump is pulling right now, if they reevaluate our gold instead of $42 a unit to the current of $3,400 a unit, that's going to open a lot of liquidity to then buy these Bitcoin reserves with. And this is something that the world is watching. I know China's been stacking gold hard. We're still waiting here in the United States for our gold audit to go down. I've kind of brought that up to the gold maxis in the background. Like, man, what if the gold's not there? What happens then? Like, that's very bad, right? That's very bad. This is kind of a crazy post. The golden bull run starts tomorrow, and he posted today. Bitcoin will hit a new all-time high. Altcoins are set to go parabolic. And during the previous cycle, he turned 20 into 100K with low caps. This is just to highlight that you have to hit the right low caps. It's not like this dude knows exactly which low caps are going to be, but if you can't get lucky if you ain't at the fair. That's what I always say. So this is why I have exposure to altcoins in this cycle, because I know what it's done cycle over cycle. And again, I'm going to dive into what those metrics are truly going to be in a later nighttime video, because it is quite a complex, dense subject matter that's only meant for people that are looking for 10 to 20x gains in altcoins as the bull market really heats up. This is from Discover Crypto's main account as well. Nowhere near the top here. The great print is coming. The need for green to peak is still deep in the red. And this is the MACD right here. You can see very, and there's the business cycle on it actually highlighted here. The liquidity in this line and then Bitcoin's price. There is still so much damn upside. The great print is inevitable because this government is addicted to it. No matter what color of the bird is on the podium, they just keep printing. And Michael Saylor's strategy now holds $22+ billion in unrealized profit on the Bitcoin investments through strategy. Absolutely insane. This dude is absolutely cooking here. And you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. Oh God, piss missiles going after you. They just love going after you, Isaac. I don't know.
They love going after me, but they'll love going after my father even more.
You know what? We just highlighted Michael Saylor in this massive move, but 21 Capital is going to try to buy 5% of the Bitcoin supply as well. So that's something to think about. Like there is a absolute, FOMO nation state level race, Wall Street level race to the top for Bitcoin holdings. And really this is where like I have my metrics and my general expectation of the cycle, but it's just going to pay to be in early. Like I don't know where the top is when we talk about tokenizing Wall Street. There's $2 quadrillion worth of values in derivatives on Wall Street, right? So that being said, this system has been leveraged to the point of no return. If we tokenized it, I really don't know where the top is going to be. I got to emphasize that. Now, a rare signal is being printed from the market breadth of Bitcoin. The S&P 500 stocks above the 50-day average and Bitcoin here shown. The price preceded some major rallies on Bitcoin, and they're already seeing signs of history repeating with the Bitcoin rally and new time highs today. They're starting to feel the FOMO on Wall Street. I'm loving it. And now we have liquidations hitting extreme levels, nearly $70 million in liquidations just over the course of an hour. This is Follis. He's a great dude, does great work. $30 million in liquidations in the last 24 hours, and 100,000 traders are liquidated. Just blood and guts all over the place. That's why stop loss are your friend and patience is your friend when you are out there trading. And the real momentary step back that we had, but really a decoupling I feel like is happening right now, is that yesterday S&P 500 fell by 80 points in 30 minutes without any major news per se. But the actual news is that there's no buyers of these 20-year bonds at the auction of the treasury yields. This is where the tokenized treasuries conversation has been being built up in the background by the likes of BlackRock and major government players, because they know that they're running out of buyers for these treasury bonds, and they need to pull some new economic and technological levers to get people to actually purchase them. More and more people are talking about this. Is Quinton. Quinton's a great dude. I think, I follow him. He's a pretty good guy. Yield spiked to 5.1%. They're trying to entice more buyers into these yields, the government debt, because they need to keep the system running, which is why we're so damn useful in the stablecoin sector. And the banks are buried under $500 billion in unrealized losses, 7 times worse than 2008, largely held within the commercial real estate sector. And the Fed will be forced to step in from the situation. The money printing creation will make the past QE cycles look like child's play. The U.S. has no choice. Print or collapse. This is the 20-year treasury. And now in hindsight, you know what? I want to go to my favorite graph. I want to go to my favorite graph. I'm going to the FDIC website here in the background. Let's go here. I'll show you guys how to find it. And you go to unrealized losses quarter. Okay. Just type these things in. And this is how you know that the system is collapsing into crypto. This is the basic website that a lot of people overlook. This is where the dark, ugly secret of our banking infrastructure lies. You got to keep scrolling and boom, here it is. So this is the great financial crisis of 2007, this tiny little bump in the market. There's a lot of credit defaults that happened in here, a lot of credit default swaps that happened in here. And then the system basically had to stay at 0% interest rates and inject liquidity for a very long amount of time, about 10 years. And then all of a sudden in 2018, things started to break even worse than they did during the housing crisis. But guess what? They created a reason to print through creating a virus with our tax dollars in China. And then they released the virus. It's so insane. What are you saying, Isaac?
I'm like just sitting in the back. Like that's so stupid.
Yeah.
The whole, I just can't get over
It's not stupid. It's nefarious. It's evil is what it is. It's not stupid. It's evil.
Fair.
And they're not stupid people. They're evil people. And so when they knew that they needed to print more than they needed to print in 2007, they literally created a virus that could be invisible, and that would be, basically use mechanisms to test for it that were bullshit, so that they could say everyone was at risk, keep you locked away, while they went and printed 80% of all circulation ever in the United States within the time frame of 5 years. Right here, this is the 80%, almost a doubling of our entire money supply was printed in just 5 years. This is why inflation got out of control. This is why people in the middle and lower class cannot afford to get into homes now, because their average pay is somewhere around $60,000 and the average home went up to $450,000. This is why we Bitcoin, is because there is no financial responsibility in the background. And now the system, the symptoms of this system breaking are exponentially worse. Pull up the graph again. Look at this thing. So where are you? What is this? Hell? Okay. This is getting worse. They're trying to swing this back to the upside, but if they do not print their way out, if they have to print, and they have to send Bitcoin plus $200,000, because if they don't, this graph is going to get much worse. So it is what it is. And if this graph gets worse and it actually goes beyond the $700 billion market, level of unrealized losses, then what you have is a bank bail-in, where the banks that are going under are going to go into your bank account, take the amount of money that you have left in your bank account to fix the problem they created, right? This is why we Bitcoin. This is why I'm so happy. Where's Arculus? I don't have the Arculus call right here. Arculus is a channel sponsor and a partner, a main partner of this channel. Pick one up, dude. Click the link in our description. Base 10. Please, for the love of God, cold custody as much crypto as you can. Diversify. Another great way of holding crypto is with crypto-centric IRA programs. Make sure to take advantage of our sponsor, Bitcoin IRA. This can put it away. You can take advantage of the tax incentives of an IRA program. I will go to their website right now to show their number. Eventually, I'm going to have it memorized. But when you call their number, you're going to have to tell them that the blockchain basement sent you. Okay, here it is. We got this. Call the number 877-936-7175. Again, 877-936-7175. Tell them the blockchain basement sent you. And for the love of God, get out of fiat, because this is happening. And if this moment breaks, over 400 banks are going to go insolvent. Just off the bat, just like that, 400 banks. Like this little financial crisis that we saw in 2023 when Bitcoin was at 20K, that was 3 banks went under. Okay. Think about what it would look like on mainstream media if 400 of those same size banks go under. Absolute wreckage, absolute destruction. So this is the situation we're in right now. Now we can talk about the altcoin sector, all this other stuff here. And this is the big, beautiful bill. Everyone's, so proud of it. Honestly, I think that it's just more government spending. I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of the Democrats. Honestly, I'm happy that Trump won over the Democrats, but Doge and Trump had put out this promise to fix the situation. I do agree with DZ. This aggravates me. This is something I don't agree with. And it's great that there's some slight tax incentives, but honestly, how about just do away with the IRS? How about just do away with this garbage manipulated extortion program that they say is voluntary, and they enforce with guns and violence, right? It doesn't sound very voluntary if they literally will put you in prison for not paying them more money to send to Zelensky. It doesn't sound very voluntary to me. So there it is. I had to just go off on that. I know a lot of people want me to just be always about Trump, but I don't think that this is good. I think that doing away with the IRS, doing away with the Federal Reserve, letting the system collapse into Bitcoin is what we actually need. We need to light this candle, baby. Start the fire here. Now, I'm going to calm down. Here's the crypto markets. Ethereum is at $2,600, XRP at 243, BNB at 684, Solana at 179. Yeah, I'm just looking at the top 10 here. Cardano at that sticky 80-cent point. Sui with a little bit of FUD here, still just under $4. It's funny, the amount of FUD that came to Sui's ecosystem, and it pulled back by 4% or something like that. Chainlink just under 17 bucks. Hyperliquid has been really, really leapfrogging a lot of different projects here. It just leapfrogged Avalanche, but Avalanche is still at 25 bucks. So that's great. Things are looking actually pretty juicy. And I think that, what we're looking at on ETH is looking pretty enticing. We are right at the 200-day moving average for Ethereum. And when we do see the dominance, this golden pocket, the dominance is at, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin's set to just fall in terms of value. It means that altcoins are ready to explode in comparison to it. And, if that golden pocket level that Kelly was highlighting is accurate, then what we're going to see for Ethereum is likely a rise to $5,000 or $6,000 this cycle. I think that Ethereum absolutely is going to break the all-time high, $10,000 market cap. Then you need to be breaching that $1 trillion mark. I think there's going to be a lot of, resistance there. But between 6,500, I believe, is around $800 billion market cap. I think that's obtainable. And really, if we're looking at this market cook to beyond the if we just double the market cap from where we're at right now, that's 7 trillion. Basically the range of this market cap to hit in aggregate for me this cycle is between $6 to $8 trillion in total. And that's a big chunk, right? And a lot of people are like, okay, Bitcoin's going to go to 170, 200. That doesn't mean much for these other alts. No, the gains on these alts is compounded because of how small their market caps are in comparison to Bitcoin. And then the money starts to hit this kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, this, snowball down a hill. And then people start moving into that. So it is what it is. Now, the top trenders here, this makes me puke. ICP, top trender today. Absolutely crazy. You know what? We looked at ICP on DeFi Llama. There is no arbitrage for me there. I'm not excited. I don't see canisters being burned. And, there's, look at this. This is such copium. We're going to Jerry Banfield's.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're going.
We're going
here. ICP destroys Bitcoin, XRP, and Solana in developer growth. Look at
his face. It says it all.
Yeah. So this is such cherry pick data. It's new crypto developers per $1 billion market cap. And now ICP's highlighting is crushing Solana and Ethereum and Binance and XRP and Bitcoin because of the per $1 billion market cap new developers. You know what? If you have a bunch of idiots doing nothing but doing slight adjustments to their GitHub and new commits to make it look like there's a bunch of action happening on the ecosystem, that's what you're going to get. And then you're going to get these little hopium things. I can't get on with it, man. I can't get on with it. Crack is cheap. Crack is cheap. So other top trenders here, Bitcoin in number 2 spot for top trending, Ethereum coming in at number 3, and then Sui number 4. Then we got this crazy one, 1,000% gains on this build on, whatever the hell this is. Solana, number 5, Core, Dogecoin, BNB. It's interesting to see a lot of these legacy coins getting real hyped. And then CETA's protocol is trending for the wrong reason for stories we're about to get into right now. So let's go here. We already got the 200-day moving average covered on Ethereum. I already covered my general ideas of Ethereum. But it is important to note that there is $7.4 billion in tokenized assets on Ethereum in and of itself. TJ actually feels like ETH to 10K could happen. You know what? If TJ's idea of this is true, it means that the tokenized treasury market has to move quicker than we expect. So
faster than AI.
Yeah, that's a tough call. What moves faster, the RWA sector because they have to do all the tokenized treasuries because the bond market's breaking, or is it AI and the development taken off within AI? Like, I want to ask the chat that. I mean, this is a great. I don't know the answer to this. I want to get your guys' opinions. Like, what do you think? Big, who wins, AI or RWAs this cycle? What do you think, Isaac?
That's such a hard question to answer. But let's see if I had to. See, I think it's gonna be very neck and neck. AI and RWAs, they're both kind of like the hot topics, and they're always going back and forth between what's trending. Like one day virtuals is trending and all the AI stuff is going like crazy, and then the next day, Ondo did something huge, Plume did something crazy. So I think it's gonna be really neck and neck. But the way we see AI being used and implicated right now, I feel like AI might have a little more. I think they already have a tiny bit more of a head start than
they have a head start. Think about how fast AI develops, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're it's always learning, and then especially with Elon wanting, or was it Elon or it was, I can't remember who said it, have 400, what was it, billion or million?
No, it's like 4 billion. I think that was
4 billion AI agents.
Yeah, that was it wasn't Gertzel, but it was one of the top AI developers out there. And I've had a few of them actually kind of verify that with me. It's like we're going to be looking at a few billion up to 4 billion AI agents rolled out in the next year or two here. So kind of terrifying. I think having access and exposure to either one of them is probably a pretty smart bet. Exposure to Bitcoin, very, very important over the next 10 years. And learning when and how to jeet these altcoins back into Bitcoin, especially important. I got a text from my stepbrother. He's asking me, and this is, if my stepbrother's asking this, he's been in crypto for a long time. He's sending this text. So he's got XRP, Algorand, and Solana. He wants to know when to sell and when to take profits. I will show this on the show here today because I think that this matters quite a bit. I don't want you guys round tripping stuff. So we're going to go to, just for an example, Sol to BTC. Okay. That guy, Isaac's explanation just made me scared for the next generation.
I talk about, I talk about this with TJ all the time. I said AI is learning AI now is like learning programming and Python back in the early 2000s when it came out in the 90s.
We need to start this hashtag up. No round trip. Blockchain basement action, baby. No round tripping in this basement here. It's not what we about, dog. All right. So you can see the general trend basically built up about here. Solana, it's going to be fine. It's going to have an upside moment against Bitcoin at a point. It's actually trying to hold itself on this midterm shelf, which is extremely bullish. But if we're running up against Bitcoin against the backdrop of $150,000+ Bitcoin, a 42% against Bitcoin, you're not going to be sad for taking that profit here. In Solana, I feel like this is where Solana's at 170 right now. I'm looking at about $500 to $700 is more like a conservative expectation for me. But if we see the AI agent sector absolutely go ballistic, like it already has been, it's just been unnoticed, momentarily unnoticed, then $1,000 Solana makes a lot of sense. 10x or bust blockchain basement, baby. Oh man. Now, but this is the general trade setup that I have on these alts, is to understand that it is moving to zero in aggregate against Bitcoin. And maybe Solana's the one that ends up, with some crazy breakout and AI just takes off and it's like, we can hit here. It's still going to go like that. So in general, taking the profits out of the alts and putting them back into Bitcoin never has gone wrong for me in my history. I am in the season where I know alt season's around the corner, so I am heavily overexposed to alts for the time being. But when I do see these alts hit these historic trend lines, I'm going to be jeeting them without any sorry feeling in the back of my mind. Now, another one, XRP, 2 Bitcoin. Let's take a look at it. And the reason I'm covering this is because I know some people hold it, and I hate this token, but here we go. So we got this, and honestly, it's more of a trend line that cuts through these candles here more so. And XRP is one of the ones that did break above and beyond, right? That Bitcoin comparison. Now, can it hold, or is it going to go down in comparison? That is the question here. We do have a level that it might be able to hold, but honestly, now the RLUSD is out there. This is a tough one for me. Honestly, like, people would have used this graph when XRP jackknifed to $3. They would have known that was the few weeks to take profits. So you can use these chart designs on pretty much any asset. Let's go to Algorand. This is going to be painful, probably.
God.
Yeah, I'm just doing this for my brother here. He hit me up directly. So, bam, trend line, boom. And I can see the general movement. God damn, that is fucking rough.
Jeez, where's
Holy
zero?
fuck.
How close are we to zero?
I mean, fuck, dude. This thing has got to break. Oh my God. I mean, I could see a return to basically these old school shelves where it came out at, but this is what happens when you're sick from inflation. This is what happens when you're sick from inflation. So, is what it is. What's your Jeet range for Arrow? 4, 8, $20. You know what? Aerodrome. Let's take a look at it. I don't know if I have a pairing chart to Bitcoin and Arrow. No, I don't have a pairing chart to Aerodrome. I do have a Jeet level here, though. So Aerodrome, I think it's got the kind of context and the market position to essentially accomplish about half of what Uniswap did last cycle, being kind of the base landing spot for a lot of DeFi applications and swaps. So Uniswap hit a $20 billion market cap last cycle, and I think that Aerodrome can hit about a $10 billion market cap this cycle. So what I'm going to do here is I will start taking profits, especially when it starts hitting that 5 billion on up. And I already did take a healthy amount of profits. I bought it at 18 cents. Everything that I had left on the table was house money until I got these 50-cent pullbacks. So I added to the positions in Aerodrome and kind of rebuilt it on these latest washouts. A lot of it, honestly, that's laying around is house money. But let's go to Coin Perspective just to show, this is me expecting Aerodrome to accomplish half of what Uniswap did last cycle in a smaller market cap. So this, I'm telling you, this is not expecting like Aerodrome to be the next greatest thing since sliced bread. I just expect good performance and a flow of capital coming in through Coinbase channel, because Coinbase scooted Binance the hell of the way with the DOJ. And now we see institutional interest in staking. And that's also involved in the Solana Marinade. Institutional staking is coming, man. So there's a lot to talk about in the subject matter. Here's Aerodrome. Now we cooked the supply up to around 830 million tokens circulating by the end of this year. And we
change the tabs, yeah.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
Change the tab for you.
Good call. So now we're at a $5 billion market cap, brings you to $6 a unit. If we hit that $10 billion kind of reasonable expectation mark, then we're hitting $12 a unit. But, I'm starting to ladder out. Once I see this thing breach close to the $5 billion level, I am going to be breaching out of it because my entry points are so damn low. Maybe it goes all the way up to 10 and I still have a moon bag on the books and it goes to an 18x. Great. But honestly, I'm doing really, really good if Aerodrome even accomplishes half of our reduced expectations of this. This is what I'm looking for here. Now, you know what? There was a coin that someone wanted us to look at.
Vector Smart Gas.
Let's take a look at it, Isaac. What do we got here?
All
Thanks for the super chat as well, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna pull it up straight on CoinMarketCap here. Get that out of the way. Bam, bam. Vector Smart Gas, fraction of a cent, $10 million. You
gotta change your tab, brother.
I do have to change my tab. There we go. We're looking at Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is juicy, so don't mind looking at that at all. $10 billion or 10 billion total supplies out. So the entire circulating supply is already out. $10 million market cap. This is the all-time graph. Fraction of a cent. Had a little pump up here.
How old is it? How many months has it been out?
March of 20 or February of 24.
February 24. And then did you say that the entire supply is already out?
So circulating supplies at 10 billion, total supply is 10 billion. So the supply is already fully out. I'll go over here to their website.
It's available on LBank too. That's good to know.
Yeah, it's on 4 exchanges. It's on LBank and a couple others.
So it's not too accessible, is what I'm
no,
highlighting.
no.
It's not too accessible yet. Okay.
Utility powering the entire vector. Let's say so. They do like NFT stuff.
Mhm.
Let's see.
I hate NFTs, but that's fine.
Yeah, I know, me too. As
smart
utility
chain.
coin.
We're just kinda
Low
live
predictable
within this.
fees, high scalability, performance, developer-friendly ecosystem.
That's the thing, that are predictable fees. That the
Yeah.
fees don't scale up as, that actually is something that institutions might prefer testing out on.
Mm,
Because if you don't have the variable gas fee, then you have a predictable balance book outlook, right?
yeah.
If you're planning to send, let's say, $10 billion to and from on a chain for whatever industry it is, and you can actually know what that fee structure is going to be,
Mm,
that's going to be very, very interesting to see.
yeah.
That is interesting. Is there any more info? Because that kind of piques my interest right off the gate.
This is
Right
it's
there.
RWA Enterprise DPIN. They went
Mhm.
live on mainnet on December 18th. So you guys, they have like some partners, Trading View, CBS, Yahoo Finance.
Well, and those are just paid for advertisements, but at least they're willing to put the money out there to advertise themselves like that.
Yeah, not many projects are going to do that if they didn't,
Yeah.
believe in what they were building. Is
Mhm.
Mexi, L Bank. Those are some
Yeah.
of the exchanges they're on. Let's see.
Yeah.
EVM and Cosmos compatible. Yeah, and they gotta probably.
When
have
they
to
talk
go a
about
little deeper.
NFTs, that's not like the JPEGs that everyone's used to from last cycle. Because I see
Yeah.
Dizzy's highlighting that. That's not that same bullshit. It's on-chain representation. Like you can buy an NFT of an aerodrome liquidity pool, right? And
Yeah.
it's just a digital stamp of that.
DeFi.
Okay.
Nice. That's
Not
interesting.
bad. Not bad.
And
Not
it's
bad.
on. Let's see, is it his own chain?
Yeah, Isaac, I
Yeah.
want you to send this one to me, and we're going to really get this on all of its metrics here over the weekend, and that might actually be because I love good RWA plays.
Yeah, me too.
Recommend round tripping Chainlink or not? No, bro. I don't recommend round tripping Chainlink.
I don't round trip anything.
You can round trip Bitcoin and guns.
Well, yeah,
and
yeah,
cars.
that's fair. But remember,
Yeah.
hashtag no round tripping.
Don't round trip. No round tripping, except for Bitcoin. That's fine. I love and appreciate you guys. I'm going to get ready to travel, go out to Alabama. I'll be streaming from my location out there tomorrow. And you know what? Every single one of you are incredible for joining us on the show, for being early adapters to Bitcoin, for voicing your opinions. I love every single one of you out there in the chat. We're going to go check out BitLab Academy now and see what he's looking at on the charts. And we will be seeing you very, very soon. Share the stream out with everyone. Make sure to like on your way out and leave me a comment down in the sections below to let me know what projects you want us to take a look at so we can keep our eyes on everything our community is involved with. Love you guys. I'll see you soon.